guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't done it already, click the subscribe button. Also click a like on this video as well, and also follow me on social media, Off the Canvas Boxing on Instagram. We also have uploaded a punch up preview on Twitch as well. We'll be doing sort of a few things here and there on Twitch as well, so follow me on Twitch as well, Off the Canvas Boxing. This needs no introduction. This is your pound for pound rankings. This is going to be my personal list, right? So if you're a fighter or you're a manager, promoter, trainer, listen, big man thing, yeah, I'm only a little man, you know what I mean? Different. I'm not like, you know, I'm not in the ring or anything like that. So if you guys feel offended by some of the opinions I hold, then, you know, go suck yourself, you know what I mean? Then we're going to start off in at number 10. We're gonna work our way up to number 1. We're not gonna hold no bars, all right? So in at number 10, Gennady Golovkin. All right, some people say he shouldn't be in the top 10 because of his inactivity. Some people say he should be in the top 10 because he had a fight. His last fight was against Derevyanchenko, and I also believe that Derevyanchenko won that fight and Derevyanchenko got robbed. But that's how the cookie crumbles, you know what I mean there. So in a nutshell, Triple G has had 40 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, all right? He's had draws and losses against Canelo Alvarez. He's also beat the likes of Kell Brook. He's beat the likes of Daniel Jacobs, and he's also beaten the likes of David Lemieux. He's also an Olympic gold medalist, or no, actually Olympic silver medalist of 2004 in Athens. So when I had 2004, I've been thinking, fam, like, that was a hot minute ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, 2004 Olympian is still boxing in 2020. You know what I'm saying? It's still boxing in 2020, maybe even 2021. In at number 9, Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is the ring and IBF and also the WBA champion. Won the World Boxing Super Series. The final of that fight was on the Derek Chisora versus the David Price card as well. After seeing that fight, that probably was one of the best ever fights that I've watched live. It had everything. They were going at it each other, like literally hell for leather. It was a sick fight. Listen, one of the best fights that I watched live, period. He's also beaten the likes of Ohara Davies as well, which I highly rate. Big up Ohara Davies. All right, can't wait for what's to come in his next fight. In at number 8, this is a controversial one, right? I looked around for everybody else's power ranking. It wasn't in anyone else's power ranking, but there was so much other people that were in their lists that I was thinking, my man did a lot more than this person. I know recent times it's not been glamorous, but I'm saying that this person has done a lot more than what some of these men done. All right, and this is Anthony AJ Joshua. Oh my days, fam. Listen, like this one. Listen, I will fall on my sword for this one. Yeah, Anthony Joshua is making my list. The reason why, the likes of Pacquiao and also the likes of Tyson Fury didn't make my list was simply because of this. With Pacquiao, he's been inactive since July 2019. You can't be inactive for a year and a half and say, I'm going to be in these rankings. The reason why Tyson Fury doesn't make my list in particular was because Tyson Fury hasn't fought enough top 10 contenders to, you know, warrant himself on that list in comparison to the amount of fights that he has in particular. You know what I'm saying? So AJ has fought what? Probably the most top 10 contenders or top 10 fighters bar any other heavyweight that is present, even Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury combined. He's unified world champion. This guy, it's not like he beat somebody that had 4 belts. Nah, he collected almost every belt on his own. You know what I mean? And some of those belts he collected it from Charles Martin, Vladimir Klitschko, the likes of Joseph Parker, Povetkin, Eric Molina, Dillian White. Who else? He's beat Dominic Brazil, Andy Ruiz. Like, come on, man. You can't have that level of caliber fighters and decide, okay, this guy's not in at least pound for pound. I know he's had one loss, and Tyson hasn't had a loss, but even with that loss, I think that his resume speaks for himself. You know what I mean? Now, if I put them both in the ring together, it's a 50-50 toss-up. You know what I mean? It's a healthy level fight, and I wouldn't be able to predict who would win that fight. It's a very difficult fight to predict. But if you're matching the resume versus resume, it's unquestionable. I know the toughest opponents that Anthony Joshua is facing has probably been Dillian Whyte and Vladimir Klitschko, and with Tyson Fury being the Vladimir Klitschko and the Deontay Wilder. But where you rank Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte is very key in this, because Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte, both of them, I would say that Dillian Whyte is a lot better fighter. I would say Dillian Whyte is a lot more established. He's had a lot more better opponents. The only thing he's had missing, to be fair, is the actual belt in himself. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte had, 2 losses in comparison to Deontay Wilder's 1 loss, but really and truly, we all know he lost their first fight against Tyson Fury, which ended up as a draw. So, really and truly, on paper, I would say that Dillian Whyte was a better opponent than Deontay Wilder. Now, some people would say completely different. Some people would disagree with me, but that's in my humble opinion. He's also a gold medalist. Like I said, unified world champion. Had a record of 23 wins and a loss. So for me, Anthony Joshua makes the cut, makes this list. He is number 8 for pound. At number 7, okay, we have Vasyl Lomachenko, the former undisputed lightweight champion. Undisputed with a question mark, because David Haney's got the actual WBC regular belt. It's technical, basically. Loma had the belt. He got elevated to, paradise level belt. Paradise level belt doesn't mean that you're undisputed, in a nutshell. But we all know he had that belt and he kind of got elevated. So, quote unquote, former undisputed world lightweight champion. His only loss is to Teofimo Lopez. Lopez put in an amazing performance, and that against Lomachenko, that's no gimme. That is a very, very tough Lomachenko. I know he was on the decline. He's beaten the likes of Anthony Fowler, Luke Campbell, George Gambosis. So he's fought a lot of great opponents. He's 2-time Olympic champion. You can't deny this guy's talent. His ability, his footwork, his movement, his skill was undeniable and unquestionable. Which leads me on to number 6, Teofimo Lopez. Big man, you have done amazing against Lomachenko. And because you beat Lomachenko, you're on the list. This guy won convincingly against Lomachenko. You know what I mean? And outmuscled him and outpowered him. So Teofimo Lopez for me is number 6 on this list. He's beaten the likes of Richard Comey. Richard Comey is a very decent opponent, So, and on the IBF against him. So I would say that Teofimo Lopez is an amazing fighter, and I can't wait for what's to come in his fight. I want him to face against Tank or David Haney or Luke Campbell. Yeah, Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia, etc. So can't wait for what's to come in that fight. In at number 5, controversial, and I'm gonna say it, Inoue is my number 5 on this list. And the reason why Inoue is not higher, he hasn't had enough fights to come higher. He's had 17 fights. Of those 17 fights, no, he's actually had 20 fights. 17 KOs. His 6th fight was the WBC title featherweight. His 8th fight was against the junior bantamweight, title for the WBO. He's fought for the WBA bantamweight, and he was also the WBSS, the World Boxing Super Series bantamweight champion as well, from Japan, and a very, very, very good fighter, very skilled. His last fight was against Maloney. Very good fight, a very good win against Maloney as well. So, and it was But that was the same that was the same night that Gervonta Tank Davis was fighting as well. So, but very good stuff from Inoue. In at number 4, we had Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, he's had coming up a great win against Kell Brook. I'm so disappointed in Kell, man. Don't get me started, blah. He's also had, before that, he's beaten the likes of Jeff Horn, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, and Benavides, Gamboa as well. Gamboa's been in for a hot minute, man. But you know what I'm saying? So he's beaten some credible opponents. 37-0 with 28 knockouts. He has the WBO title, and but previously before that, coming up and down the rankings, he's had pretty much almost every single box. So if you go to his sort of memorabilia, he's got the whole shebang on display. So big up to Crawford as well. The only reason why I don't put him necessarily higher, because the level of opponents he's faced and the people that are above him are there's a disparity. Now you have to, in these rankings, it's quite tough because you have to rate skill versus like longevity and also the level of fighters and opponents that you've faced. Now with Crawford, although he's got 37 fights, if of those 37, most of which are like not really great opponents, and you thought, you know, Jeff Horn decent, you know, some of these fighters are just like B at C-level fighters, okay? And he's beaten them, which makes him an A-level fighter. But I need him to face an A-level fighter or an A-star level fighter for him to solidify his status, okay, as one of the best in the sport of boxing, period. Now, I want him to face against the likes of Manny Pacquiao. Controversial to some people, controversial. Some people want him to face against the likes of Errol Spence. Manny Pacquiao is about to retire. Big man thing, yeah. If my man's about to retire, I would fight him. Manny Pacquiao is one of the best of all time. He is my number 4. In at my number 3, we have Alexander Usyk. Alright, Alexander Usyk, 80-0, great win against Derek Chisora. But then again, at heavyweight, really, you should be knocking him out, spark clean. But, you know, position win, even though it wasn't too appealing on the eyes, a win is a win. He beat the likes of Derek Chisora, Tony Bellew. I'm not going to count Witherspoon and them things there, because that big man thing I don't count him. Glowacki, Michael Hunter, Gassiev in the Olympics. He's won a gold medal as well. He's been the likes of Joe Joyce in the Olympic final. I remember I was watching that, and David Haye was sort of bigging up like Juggernaut, and he's saying this guy's a powerhouse and the whole shebang. But, you know, great resume, 18-0, former undisputed cruiserweight champion as well. And also he's going to be the WBO mandatory for Anthony Joshua. If he retires now, like, he could hold his head really high. Former undisputed cruiserweight champion. You know how hard it is to be undisputed anything, man. You know, it's tough, man. And you can see that with AJ. Like, to be undisputed is extremely tough. Okay, so big up Alexander Usyk, but you are at my number 3. In at my number 2 is Saul Canelo, I'm joking, son, is Errol Spence, alright? Errol Spence, okay, unlike Crawford, he's got a little bit more A-level fighters on his resume, and hopefully when they face, it'll be a lot more clearer as to who's better, Errol Spence versus Crawford. Technically, I would say Crawford. I would have Crawford winning that fight technically, but if this is a pound for pound list, it's not really about technical ability versus technical ability only. You have to understand the resume on top of that, okay? So Errol Spence is at my number 2 with a record of 26 wins, 21 by way of knockout, okay? But he's won it against Porter, Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia, Kell Brook, Chris Algieri. So very familiar opponents. Some A-level fighters, some B-level fighters on this resume as well. Currently holds the IBF and the WBC World Championship at the moment. Very good opponent to Crawford, and I can't wait to see what's going on in that fight. I need a little bit more from Spence as well, because even though he's beat some of these fighters, I don't think he's come out of third gear. You know what I mean? I don't think he's hitting the full potential that he could do. And if he beats Crawford, that really solidifies his spot as well. Big up Errol Spence, which leads me to number one. Number one. I'm number one. See, you know what I mean? Big up Chinchi Strider, old school. Near at number one is Canelo Alvarez, okay? With a record, big man thing, yeah, he's got the best record out of the lot of them. Maybe Manny Pacquiao could surpass him in terms of record, with the level of opponents that he's beaten. But this is still number one. You know what I'm saying? 53 wins, great, 2 draws, 1 loss. Okay, he's Ring Magazine champion, WBA middleweight. He has WBA middleweight belt. He's fought Sergey Kovalev at light heavyweight. This guy is about what same height as me, around the same height as me, okay? And fighting at light heavyweight is quite hit. You face it against a big man, yeah, 6'2", 6'3", etc. And those guys are like, Sergey Kovalev is like one of the best European fighters, okay, of this generation. This guy has beat, has went to town with Andre Ward at his base. He's beaten the likes of Anthony Yarde as well. So he's very good, formidable opponent. Beating him, he's beaten Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs is also a very tough opponent himself. Great fight coming up against Gabe Rosado in the next couple of weeks. So big up Daniel Jacobs. Amazing story, and I'm gonna cover that when I preview that fight. Amazing story, and I'm really inspired by his story. Beating the likes of Golovkin. Now Golovkin, the first fight I had Golovkin winning that. All right, it was a draw. I had Golovkin winning that. Okay, not really Canelo, but I had Golovkin. Second fight, just edged it towards a draw, but Canelo won. I won't be too bad. All right, but Triple G is on my top 10 list. So if you beat somebody on this list, you should be somewhere quite high up. And Triple G is no mug, you know what I mean? He's also beaten the likes of Liam Smith, Amir Khan, Miguel Cotto. Some of these opponents are like world class. Miguel Cotto at some point was world class. Miguel Cotto was definitely would have been on this list at his prime. Definitely undeniable. Liam Smith is a tough opponent as well. Amir Khan, you all know Amir Khan, very tough opponent as well. This guy has those only loss is to Floyd Money Mayweather, which he was quite young at that time. Floyd Mayweather was in his peak, and Money May was, jabbing him on the outside and making sure that he didn't get caught with some of the hooks that Canelo Alvarez would throw in as well. And he said that the best way to beat him is to hit him at angles. He said that to Callum Smith as well. I think he said that to Liam Smith ahead of his fight against Canelo. Not to mention the fact that he beat Liam Smith, Amir Khan, Miguel Cotto, etc. He's also a 4-weight world champion. 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4-weight world champion. That is mad, 4-weight world champion. Some would say he's arguably one of the top 5 Mexican fighters of all time. That has been my top 10 pound for pound ranking, going up from the top to the bottom. Alright, let's start from the bottom actually. In at number 10 we've got Triple G. In at number 9 we've got Josh Taylor. In at number 8, controversially, we've got Anthony AJ Joshua, the landlord, the governor. Don't try it, you don't know. In at number 7 we have Vasyl Lomachenko. Number 6, Lopez, Teofimo Lopez. In at number 5, Inoue. I'm not gonna pronounce his first name because big man thing, yeah. I'm not trying to get cancelled and then wait there. But in at number 4, Crawford. In at number 3, Alexander Usyk. In at number 2, Errol Spence. In at number 1, Canelo Alvarez. If Canelo loses to Callum Smith, big man thing, yeah. This list has got to be like, we got to do a substitution on this list. You know what I mean? Kind of slips on this list if he beats Canelo Alvarez, which I'm not really too sure that he will, but you know, tough opponent. So big up yourself. If you haven't done it already, please click the subscribe button. Guys, we're trying to get to 1K as soon as possible. That would be amazing. Also, click a like on this video. I have no idea what a like does on a video, but just do it anyway. You know what I mean? There, it's free. That would be amazing, guys. But peace, love, and prosperity, guys. And I'm gonna catch you guys in a bit. Peace.